My wife threw away our 15-year marriage for a guy she met at the gym, so I made sure her new soulmate found out about all her previous affairs. I, 42M, have been married to Sarah, 40F, for 15 years, together for 17. We met through mutual friends at a charity event, where she immediately caught my eye with her vibrant personality and infectious laugh. She was working as a real estate agent, making a name for herself in luxury properties, and I had just started my own tech consulting business. The connection was instant. Within 6 months, we were living together, and a year later, we got married in a beautiful beachside ceremony in Maui, with 200 of our closest friends and family there to celebrate. Life was perfect, or so I thought. We built a beautiful life together, bought our dream house in an exclusive neighborhood, traveled to 32 countries together, and were that couple everyone envied. Our annual Christmas parties were legendary, and we hosted charity events that always made the local society pages. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any marriage, but we always worked through things together. Sarah was my best friend, my partner in everything. I even helped her start her own real estate firm 5 years ago, investing $200,000 of my own money because I believed in her so much. At least, that's what I believed until 3 months ago. The changes started subtly. Sarah joined this fancy new gym downtown, one of those exclusive places that costs more per month than most people's car payments. She started wearing more makeup to work out, and suddenly needed new workout clothes every week. We're talking Lululemon and Alo Yoga, not your regular athletic wear. She'd always been into fitness, so I encouraged it, even when she hired a personal trainer named Jake, 28M. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags, but I was too busy being the supportive husband everyone praised me for being. She started coming home later, claiming she was doing extra training sessions or meeting clients. Her phone was always face down, and she changed her password for the first time in our marriage. But the biggest red flag? She stopped sharing details about her day. Sarah used to tell me everything, from what she had for lunch to office gossip about her agent's drama. Now, conversations felt forced and superficial. She'd change the subject whenever I asked about her day at the gym or her new clients. One evening, I was working late at home in my office, the same office where we'd spent countless nights planning our future together, when a notification popped up on our shared iPad. She forgot we were still linked through iCloud. It was a message from Jake. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow. You're all I think about. My world stopped. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. The iPad we bought together on our last anniversary, where we kept our shared photo albums of all our travels, had just become the messenger of my marriage's destruction. Instead of confronting her immediately, I decided to dig deeper. I hired a PI, best decision I ever made, cost me $15,000, but worth every penny. Within a week, he had photos of them having lunch at all our favorite restaurants, holding hands in the park where we used to walk our dog, and kissing outside the gym. But that wasn't even the worst part. The PI discovered something that shook me to my core. Jake wasn't her first affair. Over the past 5 years, she'd had 3 other relationships, one with a client who bought a $3.2 million house through her. They spent a weekend in Vegas together finalizing the deal, another with a colleague from her real estate firm. They had a regular Thursday marketing meeting at a hotel downtown, and a brief fling with our former neighbor, while I was on a business trip to London. She'd managed to keep them all hidden, playing the role of perfect wife while living a double life. I spent a week planning my next move, barely sleeping, barely eating. During this time, Sarah was acting like everything was normal, even planning our anniversary trip to Greece for next month. She'd already booked first-class tickets and a private villa, probably planning to use the credit cards I pay for. The audacity was astounding. She'd come home, kiss me hello, tell me she loved me, all while texting her boy toy about their gym sessions. Here's where it gets interesting. Instead of confronting Sarah directly, I reached out to Jake. Found his number in her phone while she was in the shower. Her new password wasn't hard to guess. It was his birthday. Turns out, Mr. Perfect Trainer had no idea she was married. Sarah had told him she was divorced and living alone in our house. I sent him all the evidence, photos of our life together, recent vacation pictures from the Maldives, even our last Christmas card where we're both wearing matching sweaters. His response? Holy shit, I had no idea. She told me you were her ex and she bought you out of the house. She even said she was thinking of asking me to move in. But I wasn't done. I also sent him proof of her previous affairs, showing him he wasn't special, just the latest in a line of men she'd manipulated. Jake was furious. He'd genuinely fallen for her, thinking they had something real. They'd even started looking at apartments together, planning their future. He showed me texts where she complained about being lonely and how she'd never felt this way about anyone before. The same things she probably told every other guy. The confrontation happened at the gym, of all places. I got a guest pass. Ironically, using Sarah's membership, she'd listed me as her spouse for the insurance benefits, and walked in during one of their training sessions. I sat down nearby, pretending to check my phone while they went through their workout routine. Jake, following our plan, started asking Sarah about her weekend plans. She mentioned being free, completely forgetting we had dinner plans with my parents to celebrate their 45th anniversary. That's when Jake dropped the bomb. Funny, I thought you'd be busy with your husband's family dinner. You know, the one your mother-in-law has been planning for weeks? The one celebrating 45 years of actual commitment? The color drained from her face. She looked at me, then back at Jake, realizing her carefully constructed house of cards was crumbling. I stood up, walked over, and placed divorce papers on her yoga mat, her expensive Manduka mat that I'd bought her for Christmas. Since you're so good at signing lease agreements with your various apartments for your affairs, you shouldn't have any trouble signing these. Don't worry, I made sure to include all the evidence of your extracurricular activities. She tried to explain, crying about how Jake was different, how she'd finally found her soulmate. Jake laughed and showed her our text conversations, including the evidence of her other affairs. Soulmate? Like the others were? Like the client you spent a weekend with in Vegas? Or the neighbor you hooked up with while your husband was working to pay for your designer gym wear? I'm just the latest idiot you've manipulated. The aftermath was nuclear. Sarah's carefully crafted image imploded. Jake, furious at being deceived, told everyone at the gym. Her real estate colleagues found out, and in our social circle, word spread fast. Those same society pages that used to feature our charity events now whispered about her indiscretions. Part 2. My wife threw away our 15-year marriage for a guy she met at the gym, so I made sure her new soulmate found out about all her previous affairs. She tried damage control, claiming I was abusive, that I drove her to cheat, that I was controlling with money. But the evidence spoke for itself, especially the credit card statements showing her lavish spending on her affairs. The divorce is proceeding smoothly. Turns out, when you have evidence of multiple affairs and financial records showing how your cheating spouse used company funds to finance their trysts, things tend to go your way. I kept the house, which I'd bought before we married, most of our assets, and even got custody of our dog, Max. Yes, she tried to fight for him too, despite never being the one to walk him or take him to the vet. Update 1. It's been a month since everything blew up. Sarah's been trying to salvage her reputation, but it's not going well. She lost her job when it came out that one of her affairs was with a major client. Apparently, sleeping with clients and using company resources to fund romantic getaways is frowned upon in the real estate world. Jake quit the gym and started his own training business. Apparently, being known as the guy who exposed a cheater is good for business. He's even started a YouTube channel about gym red flags that's gaining quite a following. The most satisfying part? Sarah's perfectly curated social media life is in shambles. No more perfectly posed gym selfies or #blessed posts about our marriage. No more photos of our luxury vacations or our charity event appearances. Instead, she's been posting cryptic quotes about forgiveness and everyone makes mistakes. Her last post, a quote about rising from the ashes, got exactly 3 likes, all from fake accounts she probably made herself. Our mutual friends have mostly taken my side, especially after learning about the multiple affairs. The couples we used to vacation with have all blocked her. The charity boards she sat on have quietly asked her to step down. Her family, who I was close with, is devastated. Her sister actually called to apologize, saying she had no idea who Sarah had become. Turns out, Sarah had been lying to them too, telling them I was distant and unaffectionate, probably setting up her excuse for when everything fell apart. The divorce proceedings are moving quickly and should be finalized soon. I'm selling our vacation home in Colorado, too many memories, and I've started traveling for work again, something Sarah always complained about. The irony isn't lost on me that she used my business trips as opportunities for her affairs. I've even started doing consulting for Jake's new business, helping him set up his social media strategy. We joke about how Sarah inadvertently helped both our careers take off. Update 2. 3 months after filing for divorce, and life has taken some interesting turns. Sarah reached out through her lawyer, asking to talk things through. Apparently, her new apartment isn't quite as nice as our house, and her realtor reputation is shot. She suggested marriage counseling, saying we could work through this. She even had the nerve to say she'd forgive me for exposing her private life if I agreed to try again. I didn't respond, but I did laugh when I heard she tried to date Jake again. He posted screenshots of her desperate texts on social media, captioning them with "Some people never change." My favorite was her message saying "I've changed, I promise. You're the only one I ever really loved," sent to both Jake and me within the same hour. She's been lying low since then, probably plotting her next reinvention. As for me? I've started dating again, casually. Met someone who actually appreciates honesty and communication. She's a surgeon, completely self-made, and understands the value of trust. It's early days, but it's nice to remember what genuine connection feels like. We bond over our shared love of hiking, something Sarah always complained was too outdoorsy for her, except when she was hiking with Jake, apparently. The funny thing is, Sarah still tells people Jake was her soulmate who got away. She conveniently leaves out the part where she was married and had multiple affairs. Some mutual friends told me she's been spreading a narrative that I was controlling and emotionally unavailable, which apparently justified her actions. She even tried to join a survivors of narcissistic abuse support group, until someone showed them her affair history. Last week, I ran into one of her former affair partners at a business conference. He apologized profusely, saying he had no idea she was married. Turns out, Sarah had a whole system, different phones, elaborate stories about being divorced or separated, even fake social media accounts. She had a separate email just for coordinating her affairs, and she'd even created a fake consulting business to explain her absences to different people. The level of dedication to her deception was almost impressive, in a twisted way. Update 3. 6 months later, and I'm finally feeling like myself again. The divorce is final, I've moved to a new house, couldn't stay in the old one with all those memories, and my business is thriving. I've started a new division in my consulting firm focusing on digital security. Turns out my experience investigating Sarah's affairs gave me unique insight into how people hide their digital tracks. The best revenge really is living well. Sarah? She's moved to another city to start fresh. Translation: she ran out of people to manipulate here. Last I heard, she's telling everyone she's a survivor of a toxic marriage. The only toxic thing was her ability to lie with a straight face for 15 years. She tried to start a new real estate business, but a quick Google search of her name brings up too many uncomfortable questions. Jake is actually doing great. We've become unlikely friends, bonding over our shared experience of being deceived by Sarah. He's engaged to a wonderful woman who actually is divorced. He checked thoroughly this time, even hired the same pie I used, and his training business is booming. We even collaborate on business projects now. Life has a funny way of creating opportunities from disasters. The most valuable lesson I've learned? Trust your gut. Those small changes in behavior, the subtle shifts in routine, they matter. But more importantly, I learned that exposing the truth, while painful, is always better than living a lie. Sarah spent 15 years perfecting her performance as the perfect wife, but in the end, the truth only needed one moment to destroy everything she'd built. Update 4, final update. It's been exactly 1 year since I discovered Sarah's affairs, and wow, what a difference a year makes. Yesterday was actually the date I was supposed to take her to Paris for our 16th anniversary. Instead, I spent it hiking in Montana with someone who actually deserves my time and trust. Life has a way of working out exactly as it should. Remember that surgeon I mentioned I was dating? Well, things have gotten serious. She's everything Sarah wasn't: honest, independent, and genuinely caring. We're moving in together next month, and it feels right. No games, no manipulation, just real connection. But here's the real kicker: Sarah's life has completely imploded. Remember how she moved to another city to start fresh? Well, karma wasn't done with her yet. One of her former affair partners, the client from Vegas, was apparently a big shot in real estate circles. His wife found out about their affair and made sure everyone in the industry knew about it. Sarah can't get a job at any reputable real estate firm now. Turns out, sleeping with clients and lying about it is a huge red flag for employers. Part 3. My wife threw away our 15-year marriage for a guy she met at the gym, so I made sure her new soulmate found out about all her previous affairs. Last week, her sister called me. We've stayed in touch. Apparently, Sarah's been trying to convince their parents to let her move back home. She's broke, her new business failed, and she can't afford her apartment anymore. The best part? She's been telling everyone who'll listen that she manifested this rough patch because she needed to learn important life lessons. Yeah, right. Jake's doing amazing. His gym now has 3 locations, and he's becoming a minor celebrity in the fitness world. His YouTube channel about toxic relationships in the gym industry has over 500,000 subscribers. He even invited me to his wedding next month. His fiancée is incredible, and they're expecting their first child. Sometimes the best friendships come from the most unexpected situations. As for me, my business has doubled in size. Turns out, there's a huge market for digital security consulting, especially for people going through divorces. I've even started giving talks about how to protect yourself from infidelity in the digital age. My story resonates with people, and helping others heal has become an unexpected passion. My parents, who initially struggled with a divorce, they loved Sarah, now admit they're happy it happened. My mom says she hasn't seen me this peaceful in years. She's right, I sleep better, laugh more, and finally feel like myself again. Dad, who was always skeptical about therapy, even asked me for my therapist's number. He said watching me heal and grow made him realize he had some old wounds to address too. It's amazing how facing betrayal head-on can lead to healing across generations. The house in Colorado that I couldn't stand to keep? Sold it to a lovely family, and used part of the money to buy a cabin in Montana. It's become my sanctuary, a place where my new girlfriend and I spend weekends hiking, reading, and just enjoying honest, drama-free time together. Last month, I ran into Sarah at a coffee shop while visiting my sister in her new city. She tried to act casual, but I could see the desperation in her eyes. She was wearing last season's clothes, something the old Sarah would never do, and her designer handbag was clearly a knockoff. The woman who used to spend $5,000 a month on her appearance was now shopping at discount stores. She tried to start a conversation, asking if I'd heard about her successful business ventures. When I didn't respond, she changed tactics, mentioning how much she'd grown from her mistakes. Then came the real reason she approached me. She asked if I could loan her some money to invest in her new business idea. Apparently, she's trying to become a relationship coach. The irony is not lost on me, and needs startup capital. I just smiled, grabbed my coffee, and walked out. The best revenge isn't just living well, it's living so well that your ex's attempts at manipulation seem almost pitiful. Later that day, my sister told me Sarah had been going around telling people she's writing a book about surviving narcissistic abuse. She's trying to paint herself as this enlightened guru who's transcended her past mistakes. But everyone knows the truth, she's just trying to monetize her failures since her reputation in real estate is permanently ruined. To anyone going through something similar, document everything, trust no one until they earn it, and remember that karma has a way of working things out. Sometimes, you just need to help it along a little bit. And if you think your spouse is cheating with their personal trainer, get a pie. Best money I ever spent. Life has a funny way of giving you exactly what you need, even if it comes disguised as something you don't want. A year ago, I thought my life was over. Now? I realize it was just beginning. My new girlfriend and I are planning a trip to Japan next month, something Sarah always refused to do because it wasn't luxurious enough for her. I'm learning to cook, badly, but with enthusiasm, taking dancing lessons, even worse, but it's fun, and finally got back into playing guitar. The house I bought after selling our old place has become a real home. It's smaller, but it's filled with actual memories, not just Instagram moments. Every Saturday, I host a barbecue for friends, something Sarah always said was too middle class for us. Last weekend, Jake and his pregnant wife joined us, along with 3 other couples who've been through similar experiences. We've formed this unexpected support group of people who've survived betrayal and come out stronger. I've started volunteering at a local organization that helps people rebuild their lives after divorce. Sharing my story has helped others realize they're not alone, and watching them heal helps me heal too. There's something powerful about turning your pain into purpose. Last month, I spoke at a conference about financial infidelity and protecting yourself in the digital age. The room was packed, and afterward, so many people shared similar stories. It made me realize how common this type of betrayal is, but also how possible it is to rebuild. What's funny is that my business has actually tripled, not just doubled. Turns out, there's a huge market for what I now call digital divorce security. I've hired 4 new consultants just to handle the workload. We help people protect their digital assets during divorce, track digital evidence of infidelity, legally, of course, and secure their financial futures. I never planned on this being my specialty, but sometimes life's worst moments lead to unexpected opportunities. One of Sarah's former affair partners reached out last week, the neighbor she hooked up with while I was in London. He's going through a divorce himself now. Karma really does come full circle, and wanted advice on protecting his assets. During our meeting, he shared some details about his time with Sarah that made me realize just how deep her deception went. She had actually planned to leave me for him, but backed out when she realized he wasn't as wealthy as she thought. It's strange how information like that doesn't hurt anymore, it just confirms that I dodged a bullet. And Sarah? Well, she's learning the hard way that karma doesn't send warnings, it sends consequences. Last week, she tried to start a coaching program for wealthy women going through divorce, charging $5,000 for her expertise. It lasted exactly 3 days before someone shared her story in the Facebook group she was advertising in. Then she tried to pivot to being a personal growth coach, but that fell apart when potential clients found her history through a simple Google search. Her latest scheme? She's trying to pitch a reality TV show about women rebuilding their lives after scandal. So far, no takers. The real karma though? Her young trainer Jake, who she thought was her soulmate, is now becoming a legitimate celebrity in the fitness world. His YouTube channel just hit 1 million subscribers, and he's launching a fitness app next month. I'm actually handling the cybersecurity for it. Every time Sarah sees his success, and she definitely stalks his social media, she's reminded of what she threw away and what she lost. To everyone who shared their support through this journey, thank you. Your messages and comments helped me stay strong when I wanted to give up. Special thanks to the Reddit community who offered advice when I first discovered the affairs. You guys were right about everything, especially about hiring the pie and documenting everything. To those currently going through something similar, hang in there. The truth always comes out, and when it does, make sure you're ready to help karma do its job. Trust me, the other side of betrayal can be beautiful if you face it with dignity and strength. Just remember, sometimes losing someone who doesn't respect you is actually winning, it just takes time to see it.